Good morning, everybody. Sunday morning, nice to see all of you all here. So we'll start the session for today. So I hope my screen also can be seen by everybody. So the topic that I will be touching upon today is the evolution of strategies. So everybody is aware of what option strategies are. So how can we evolve these strategies from how can one strategy evolve from what it is to what it can be? How are you going to be hedging your risk in the market today? Because I tell all my students always that today the only raw material you have in the stock market is your funds, is your money. So you really need to know that how you should be hedging your risk and how you can uh, make it successful in this market, right? So we jump into the session right away. Evolution of strategies and how will you hedge your risk? When will you hedge your? Yo, so can you hear me now, guys? Because I believe I was muted.
Yeah. We can hear you, ma'am. We can right away hear you.
Great. So I don't know what part of it was muted, so I'll just come again. So we today in this session we are going to be understanding that what are the different option strategies, how they can be evolved from one to the other, and how you can hedge your risk. I will also be sharing a trade of mine which did catch me on the wrong foot, and then what I did and how the whole trade worked out. So it's an old trade of mine, but I'm anyways going to be sharing it on the platform today. So let's start the session right away. Evolution of strategies. Yeah. Yes. So what is option trading all about? Option trading is, according to me, first of all, keeping things simple. The best thing that you can do to yourself in this market is not to complicate your understanding and keep your understanding as simple as possible. So for me, option trading is all about number one, understanding direction. After understanding the direction of the market, having a view. What do I want to do? And ultimately trading what you see, right? Understanding the volatility situations in the market and managing your risk. How will you manage your risk? You can manage your risk by technical analysis, applying the tools of technical analysis, understanding premium analysis, and doing your Greek analysis. These are the three ways of managing your risk. Okay. So direction. So how will you understand direction? The only way to understand direction is to understand your trend analysis, is to do trend analysis. Okay. So there are only three trends in this market. There is an uptrend where you see that the prices are going to be making a higher high and a higher low. Then there is a downtrend in the market where you see that the prices are constantly making a lower low and a lower high, right? And a sideways trend is where you will see that the markets are going sideways. Guys, I'm going to be touching about some very basics, which sometimes I feel that once we go a little ahead in our careers, we forget. All right. So it's very important to be connected to your basics and never forget them. Only thing that you can do in an uptrend is go long on dips and basically go long. The only trade that you can have in a downtrend is basically go short in the markets or sell on rise. The only thing you should do in a sideways market is be non-directional. Okay. So when you're trading anything, maybe options, maybe stocks, maybe futures, maybe whatever it is very important to know that what is the direction of the market, right? You can always, yeah, there are people who will say, why can I not go short in an uptrend? Yes, you can go short in an uptrend, but you're trading against the impulse, you're trading against the main direction of the market. So you need to be aware of that you're taking a high risk trade. So you can do everything once you're aware of what you're into. Now, very important is understanding the straight stages of any trend. Guys, the trend works in 4 stages. Any trend. All right. Stage one is your consolidation. Stage one is your consolidation, where you will see that the stocks are just consolidating in a range. This is somehow the stage 1, and it is also called the accumulation stage, right? Where the strong hands are accumulating the stock before it starts breaking out. There the stock breaks out generally after a stage 1. This is called an uptrend or a bullish expansion. All right. So what do you do? Okay, so let me finish the stages first. So that's the bullish expansion, where you see that the prices have broken out from the stage 1 consolidation and now they are on an up move. Stage 3 is generally consolidation or the distribution stage, where you will see that the hands which have accumulated over here are now distributing the stocks that they've already accumulated. All right. So stage 1 is consolidation. Stage 2 is bullish expansion. Stage 3 is consolidation. Stage 4 is a downtrend and a bearish expansion. This then continues into a stage 1 consolidation again. So these are the typical 4 stages of a trend. All right. So what are we understanding and why are we understanding the stages of a trend? Guys, it's very important to understand this because we need to know what we want to do in the market today. Okay. So what I would do in the market today, when you're in a stage 1 consolidation, pick sideways strategies. Pick strategies which are range bound. We are talking about options right now, right? So I'll cover a little bit of technical analysis also, and I'll talk about the options also. So first, talking about the option part of it. In the stage 1 consolidation, what we need to do? We need to work on our range bound sideways strategies, which are non-directional, because the markets are non-directional here. Once the stock has broken out of consolidation and it has started going up, we are going to be using directional strategies. Directional strategies which are on the bullish side. Bullish strategies which are directional. Once we see, then again the stock has gone into a stage 3 consolidation. We are going to bounce back to our non-directional strategies. I hope everybody is with me. Stage 4. Once a stage 4 is happening, we again change our gears and we will get into bearish expansion strategies. Stage 1 consolidation continues. So guys, this is a typical 4 stage of a trend. It can be an uptrend, it can be a downtrend. So this is an example of an uptrend. Downtrend will be exactly opposite of this. Okay, I'm talking about a primary uptrend and a primary downtrend. So in a consolidating strategy, in a stage 1, what kind of strategies can be done? We can be doing our straddles, your strangles, your butterflies, your condors. These are the kind of strategies you will be doing over here once you've done your premium analysis. Once you see a bullish expansion over here, what kind of strategies can you do? Your long calls, right? Can you do a long call here? No. Sure short, loss. Sure short, disaster. So you want to do bullish expansion strategies? Do it here. Do your long calls, do your back spreads, stuff like that. When you're into a consolidation stage again go back to your range bound strategies, your ladders, your ratios, your straddles, your strangles, your condors, your butterflies. This is what again you will start doing in this stage again. Stage 4, long puts, put back spreads. Okay, start doing your bearish expansion strategies here, and again the consolidation starts here. So it is very important to pick the right strategy with the right. I'm not getting into the IV analysis right now, but IV analysis again very important. So after understanding your IV, like how high or low is my IV in the market, we pick our strategies, and very important to understand is the direction of the market and also what stage of the trend we are in. So moving ahead. Knowing your triggers. Okay. So when do you knowing your hedge triggers? So you must have heard, okay, hedge your trade, hedge your risk, evolve your strategies. When do you need to hedge your risk? Do you start just you see a little negative MTM? Is that when you run to hedge your trade? No. You need to understand that what are your hedge triggers. Okay. So let's go through this quickly. That what are our hedge triggers? Violation of key support and resistance levels. They could be horizontal levels. They could be fib levels as well. So when your key support levels are getting violated is when you need to understand that yes, I have done something, but my trade may need some kind of attention over here because there is a potential risk over here to my trade. Formation of chart patterns which signal breakouts. Signals from momentum indicators. Any sign of a breakout. Okay. So guys, when we are trying to, when I say hedge your risk, so moreover the risk mostly comes from when you're short options, and which we all option traders love to do. We love shorting options. So when we are shorting options, yes, it's not that long options don't have risk. Yes, of course, that long options also have their risk, but yes, at least you're aware of what your risk is. But when you're short options, you tend to get into an unlimited risk kind of a scenario. So you need to understand that, okay, now when do I need to start hedging my trade? So momentum indicator. So RSI is one momentum indicator which I love to use. So a little run through on RSI. This is such a fantastic indicator, and there are so many interpretations to this, the ways people are using this indicator. So I'll just cite a very simple way of looking into it, not getting into too much of details and the depth of it right now. So your zone from 0 to 40 is basically a bearish zone. Your zone between 40 to 60 is moreover a neutral trend zone. And the zone between 60 to 100, obviously RSI 100 is unheard of, but is basically a very bullish zone. Okay. So let's see how we can use it. Don't be scared of this chart. I've just taken a little bit of back data, which I'm going to show it to you all. So how do I use my RSI? Guys, when my, okay, I'll need to take my pointer. Yeah. So if you see over here, my stock has come to a support level here. Okay. So stock came to a support level, and from a support level, I expect my stock to go up. So is my RSI also at support? Yes. My RSI was also at support here. So when the stock has decided to go up, your RSI should also expand, no? But when you see this divergence happening, when you see your RSI not expanding and maybe your price is consolidating or expanding, you need to, this is going to give you a forward indication that, hey, this trade may require a hedge, may require some attention. If not a hedge, let me at least look into it, because there is a big possibility that this trade may start going against me. If you see this over here, again, the prices have hit resistance. The prices have hit resistance, the RSI has also hit resistance. Fair enough, good. There's no require for a hedge here. Even if you're getting a momentary negative M2M, no problem, because your RSI is also in sync with your trade. Now, if you see here again, yeah, again, the prices have hit support here, RSI has hit support here, fine. Now prices have hit support here, but the RSI has again dipped below my 50 line. I like to use 50. That's a zone. That's a 60-40 zone which I have created for myself. So anything below, going below 40 when I'm in a bullish trade at supports is not something that I like to see. So after 50, I'm vigilant, and below 40, I know for sure that I need to pay some attention to this trade, because if I'm bullish, my RSI cannot be going below 40 at all. Okay, but 50 and below should raise your antennas that I need to do something about this trade. Maybe there again, it's hitting resistance, RSI at resistance, you're good. Now again, this see, if you see this support again, my RSI has gone below 40. I don't enjoy seeing this at all. Yes. So again, this has it's hit support and my RSI has gone 40. So these are indications of not exiting your trade, but these are just indicators to say that I may need to pay some attention to my trade. I may need to start hedging it. So this is one way of this is one of the indicators, hedging. So this is one more is fib. These are the different ways of understanding your support and resistances. So my prices have hit support here. Prices have hit support here. There are moving averages over here to support me as well. Now this is a range bound trade is what we are looking at over here, right? Your 200 moving average here, your 50 here, you're between a support and a resistance level. Now I want to see my RSI also running between 40 and 60. So when I'm in a range bound strategy where I'm sandwiched between the two fib levels, support here, resistance here, moving averages here, I want my RSI also to be between 60 and 40. So any violation of my RSI zone here, even if my prices are not showing me, again will make me pay attention to this trade and say that, hey, I may need to hedge my trade because it could be going against me. Yes. So these are the different ways you can understand whether your trade may go against you or no. Yeah, this is again the same thing. Beware of chart patterns, right? So what do I mean by this? Supposing you have entered a range bound strategy within a chart pattern. Okay. So if the price is moving in this way, okay, in a channel, maybe a downward channel, and you start seeing that, yeah, the stock has gone sideways in a in this channel. So yes, you may be wanting to do a sideways strategy, like a temporary, maybe a weekly nifty or something like that. You may just start doing a sideways strategy here. So fair enough. But if you realize that you have formed a triangle, if you have formed a triangle, and we all know that 70% of consolidation, once the prices have consolidated at the distance of 70% within a triangle, we are due for a breakout. All right. So be aware of that. Generally, when a price consolidates 70% of the length of this entire triangle, we can expect a breakout. So if you're doing a range bound strategy somewhere here, you're good for a few days. But if you see that your triangle has the prices have advanced further into your triangle, you would need to know that you can expect a breakout soon. Okay. So your strategy may either be exited or be hedged. If you've gone into a short triangle or a short straddle or a ladder or a ratio or whatever you guys have done, where you are putting yourself into an unlimited risk scenario, I'm sorry, you need to know that either you need to book your trade or you need to hedge your trade. Okay, so beware of these kind of chart patterns which are forming and which could also be showing you signs of breakouts. This is again one more example where you could be in a sideways trend, absolutely, maybe a stage 1 or a stage 4, you don't know. But again, in a sideways trend, you realize that within a sideways trend, you are trying to find a triangle is getting formed here. Okay, so within a sideways trend, if you see a triangle getting formed, you be aware that your trade could break out. All right. So this is when you either need to book or you need to hedge your trade. Ascending triangle. So if you're in an uptrend, and again, it's just absolutely opposite of what we just spoke before. And if you see a pattern getting formed, you need to be beware of these kind of breakouts that may be happening. Yes. So that's an ascending triangle for you. So any chart pattern which you see is going to be breaking out, because generally most chart patterns are breakout patterns. Most chart patterns will be consolidating, and after a consolidation, there's going to be a breakout happening. So look out for those signs. So I have just kind of cited two things here. So how will you hedge your risks? So we understood that what are the different triggers for hedging your trade? What are the different triggers where you need to be aware that things can go wrong in your trade? So now how will you hedge your risk? You can hedge your risk by either buying options, or you can hedge your risk by buying and selling future contracts, or you can evolve your unlimited risk strategy into a limited one. Okay, so these are the different ways by which you can hedge your risk. So supposing you have gone and done a short option. So I've taken an example of ITC over here, ITC at rupees 280. So you have supposing gone and done a short call of ITC, and you want to hedge that. Okay, you realize that your short call is probably going against you. So how will you hedge a short call? You will buy a long call. So your strategy of short call has now evolved into a bear call spread. Okay, so just by adding a long option to your short option, which was unlimited risks strategy, you add a long option to it, and you have converted your short call into a bear call spread. If you have gone and done a call ratio spread, okay, so what is a call ratio spread? You have gone long the 280 calls. I'm sticking to this one example of ITC at 280 rupees. Okay, so if you've gone and done a call ratio spread, so what have you done? You have gone long the 280 call, and you have gone short two lots of the 290 call. So what's going to happen here? If the prices are going beyond your short options, you are putting yourself into a unlimited loss scenario, right? So, and if you see that happening, what will you do? You will go long the 300 call, right? So what has happened? Your call ratio spread has now become a call butterfly. And if you see over here, your call butterfly has a limited loss now. Yeah. So now what have you done? You have defined your loss, and now you're in a limited loss scenario. Call ladder. If you have done a call ladder where you have gone long 280 options, the 280 call options, you have gone short the 290 and the 300 call options, and if you see that level is getting challenged, what will you simply do? Go long. You will go and buy a 310 call. And now you have, what have you done? You have converted your call ladder to a call condor. Your short straddle. What is a short straddle? You have gone and done an ATM short of call and a put, right? You see that getting challenged, you will simply go and buy yourself hedges and make your short straddle into a iron butterfly, right? In the iron butterfly, you will see that both your the wings of your butterfly, if you go to see this, it is a limited loss strategy now, which was your once upon a time unlimited loss strategy, has now gone and become limited, right? So what do I mean by this? You will see that supposing if your stage one is breaking out, you've done supposing this strategy, a short straddle or a short strangle in stage one of a trend, you see it's breaking out, or maybe a stage three, and if you see your one is breaking out into a two, or if you see triggers of your stage three breaking out into a stage four, okay, maybe your momentum indicator gave you some kind of pre-signals, or any of these things that we mentioned before. If any of those in signals you are getting, and if you're seeing a shift in trend from a stage one to a two, or from a three to a four, is where you will realize that I need to start doing something to my trade, or I'm going to put myself into a big loss. Your short strangle again, if you've done this, if you see that getting challenged, you will again simply go and buy yourself hedges. So your 300, if you've done short 300 call and short 360 put, you will buy hedges, and you make your unlimited loss strategy into a limited loss strategy. So I hope we are clear till now. I'll move forward. So this is a case study, guys, of a trade that I had taken back in time. This is a case study of again ITC. ITC at 275 rupees on the 8th of October. Okay, so guys, this is the weekly chart of ITC. So this is a case study. I'm just going to show you all that how I took this trade, what I did to this trade, okay, and how I managed this trade. So this is a weekly chart of ITC. I'm going to take the spotlight here. Yeah. So this is the price at 275 rupees. That's my weekly resistance, fresh one. Weekly support. I'm at a role reversal. My RSI is pretty much within where I needed to be on weekly charts. So everything is looking fantastic. And I was expecting that the stock is going to be moving in this zone for some time where I can quickly take my trade. Okay, so moving ahead. That's the daily chart, right? And I did my trade setup. So what was this trade setup like? So that's the weekly resistance that I was talking about. That's the support that I was talking about. This is a weekly support again. That's my 200 moving average. That's my 50 period moving average. So I was expecting that the price should be pretty much within this zone for a few days till I take advantage of the super high IVs in the market. Okay, so I planned my trade. So that's those I put my stop losses, and this is my view that okay, my prices are going to be consolidating here. Fair enough. So let's move forward and let's see what happened, and let's see my trade. So this is what your option chain look like. The 52-week high IV was 31.65, and the current IV was, sorry, the 52-week high IV. Okay, I haven't got that recorded, but the current IB was 31.65. Okay, which was super high. It was the highest ever. So I decided to. It was basically the a very high IB in the market at that time with a very high IB percentile, and I said, okay, I need to take advantage of these high IVs. So I decided to do two trades here. I did a short strangle and I also did a short straddle. So let me show you the short strangle straddle here first. So that was an ATM 275 call short and 275 put short. I accumulated a credit of 16.30 rupees. Okay, that's my upper break even, that's my lower break even, pretty much well within my stop loss levels. And also my break evens were very nicely within my support and resistance levels also. So I know that any kind of so these trade setups are again very important. So when the prices are going to be hitting this support at break even, I know the price would again bounce back. But was I even looking at this break even? No. My view was what? My view was that the prices are going to be basically consolidating in this zone. That is what my view was. Okay, now this is what my profit and loss looked like. So if it stayed within my zone, within my anticipated zone, I was going to be making a maximum profit of 39,240 rupees, and obviously out of my zone is out of my break even points would be unlimited loss scenario for myself. Okay, this is the short strangle which I had taken. Okay, so with the short strangle, I received a credit of 6 rupees. My upper break even was 296, lower break even again at 254, pretty much well within my stop loss levels and within my support and resistance levels, comfortable trade. Yeah, so if it stayed within my zone, within the anticipated zone, 14,400 was the maximum profit at expiry, otherwise unlimited loss. So this trade was taken on the 8th. Now what happens on the 11th of October? 11th of October, my IV starts going up further. Okay, IV further starts going up by almost 1.5%. And what happens here? What was my view? My view was, I want my stock to stay here. And the whole chart setup and everything was telling me that my stock, my prices should stay here. Okay, that was my view. But what happened? The stock broke my level of support. This was a weekly support, fantastic support. I wouldn't have imagined this would have broken, but it broke. This level of support broke. So when this level of support broke, it told me that I needed to do something about this. I can't leave my, though it is pretty much inside, but I cannot leave this trade unattended because my view has now been challenged. Okay, so this was what I did. I immediately went and got myself hedges. What did I do? I immediately went and bought a call option of 290 rupees, of the 290 call option at 1.35, and I bought a put option at 3.65. All right. And my new trade looks like this now. My unlimited risk has now become limited to 8,880 rupees if it breaks out of the range. And now my maximum profit stays at 27,120 rupees. So this trigger, okay, what was the trigger? The trigger was here. The trigger was breaking of my support level here. So as soon as my support level broke here, it gave me some indication that no, now I need to evolve my strategy. I need to do something about my trade and not just leave it the way it is. And my trade evolved from a short straddle into an iron butterfly now. What happened to my strangle? My strangle, yes, my strangle. So my strangle again got hedges. So I bought a 300 call option at 75 paise, and I bought a 250 put option at 1 rupee 60 paise. So my straddle, my strangle now became a iron an iron condor. The different strike prices is where I had done my trade, right? So obviously different strike prices will have a different PNL. So what happened? So it was fine, right? So on the 16th of October, after my hedging and everything, again the prices went back after it broke my support level, but it went back inside and it was again going fine. It was going great. All right, my IV was also starting to go down and everything was doing great. So by the 16th of October, I was making almost 70% of my max profits on my strangles, and my straddles, I was making around 35% of my max profit. So ideally, this would be the ideal situation to actually exit the trade. But it's one of those days you feel that, okay, I will exit it tomorrow because everything is going great. So maybe tomorrow, maybe day after, I'm going to be exiting my trade. And then what happens? What happens is that now my price goes and challenges my 290 call option. That's not a scenario where what I like to see, right? So again, I need to do something about my trade. I need to be actively managing my trade. So now what will I do? I'm going to be squaring off my 200 and 260 put option. What did I do? I shifted my strikes. I did not change my trade, but I decided to shift my strikes. What did I do now? See, the 260 put option, which was sold for 2 rupees 70 paise, had now become 20 paise. So I decided to book profits here. I booked profits on my 260 put option and I sold the 270 put option. And I received further credit of 70 paise. Are you seeing this? I have not moved my hedges at all. But the loss that I was making out of this put option, I had to get it from somewhere. So this is how I have shifted my strikes again. There it is. And now that's my new trade and my new PNL. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you all. Thank you. So any questions that you all would like to ask me? This was keeping things absolutely simple. and not complicating any understanding, not complicating any matters, and trading what you see and actively managing your trade.
No, definitely, Smita. It has been a very simple and a great presentation. You've really covered right from the different stages to have a more clarity for options trader, as in different stages, what needs to be done. Because
Correct.
what says other when what needs to be done is more important. So we have really emphasized more on those things. So we have questions. So
Sure.
we are open for Q&A, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right. So our first question is from Mr. Satish Humani. He's asking, in chart patterns, you mentioned when 70% of the trend is in the zone, then it will break out or break down soon, right? So
Correct.
how do we determine the 70% zone?
So that is something a part of technical analysis, that when the start, that's basically the length of the pattern, the height and the length of the pattern. So once the entire the triangle is formed, you measure that's 0 to 100, and 70% of the length is where you can expect that the chart pattern is going to be breaking out generally.
Okay.
A chart pattern generally breaks out then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second question by Mr. Rahul Deshpande is asking on which time frame we can see these chart patterns that you have displayed.
Yeah, so chart patterns are technical analysis is something which is fractal. When I say it is fractal, that means a chart, any study of technical analysis is valid on any time frame. You can see it on a 5-minute time frame, on a weekly, on a daily, on a monthly, on whatever parameter of technical analysis can be seen on any time frame, and it's going to be working. Only thing you need to understand is that the higher the time frame, the stronger is the analysis of of any study. So depending on the time frame that you're looking at, generally when we're doing swing trades, when you're doing option trades, it's the swing trades that we're looking at. We're not doing positional trading here. So we will look at daily chart patterns is a good indication. On a
Okay.
daily chart would be a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Next question is not mentioned name. Question is, what's the capital for each trade you mentioned in ITC strategy?
So capital definitely depends on what strategy you are doing, no? So I mean, if you're doing a spread, it's a long option and a short option. So when you're going long option, it's the premium that you pay, and when you're doing short option, it's basically the future margin that you need to pay, right? Because you're taking unlimited risk in the market. So whenever you're taking unlimited risk in the market, your broker is going to ask you for a margin accordingly. So it completely depends on the strategy you are doing, that will determine the capital that you need to be putting into the markets. So there's no
Okay.
fixed
All right.
capital as such that you need to look at.
Correct. But still, for shorting the options, probably it will range, right? For different stocks, whatever is the
So
different margins allotted.
exactly. So all
Correct.
stocks are different according to the margins that they are commanding. So you will need to pay margins when you're doing short options, and when you're doing long options, you will have to be paying the premium of whatever the strike premium it is. And the premiums,
Correct.
again,
So we
that's why
can
doing
probably
IV analysis. So that's why doing an IV analysis is super important, because the more expensive and the higher the IVs, the higher the premiums. So generally we go long options when when the IVs are deflated, and we will do short options when the IVs are inflated. So this is the IV analysis that we generally do.
all right. All right.
Yeah.
Next question is in very short. He has mentioned hedge versus adjustment difference by Mr.
Hmm.
Nartaj
Hmm.
Musturi. Yeah. So Nartaj is asking in very short, hedge versus adjustment difference. Can you please
Yeah, so
speak out?
when you're going, yeah, so I understand where he's coming from. So when I say hedge your options is hedge your strategy is when I told you all about the different triggers which you need to look at before you start hedging your trades. So if your triggers, like, your support is breaking, or you realize that your momentum indicator is trying to tell you that there could be a breakout, there could be something that you needs to be done to your trade. So like when I did a hedge, so my ITC short straddle became a butterfly. That's a hedge. So I went and got a hedge for my trade because I realized that I am the support on which I was banking on broke. So when the support that I was banking on broke, I need to go evolve my strategy from an unlimited loss strategy to a limited loss strategy, because there are full chances this support which was not supposed to be breaking broke today. So I need to evolve my strategy and change it from one to the other. That is called getting an hedge, evolving your strategy from one to the other. Adjusting is
Correct.
basically trying to how, like, I shifted my strike, I booked profit on one strike and I moved my strike higher because now we are looking at a higher range. So that is basically adjusting it and getting optimal profits out of your trade. That's adjustment of strike.
All right.
So they are both different things.
All right. Correct. So probably if I take it there in a very simple way, adjustment could be made out of your carrying profits that you are doing in a trade. You're carrying the trade either on a long side or a short side, and few little
Yes,
adjustments that you need to do.
yes, you
But
keep
even if you're
adjusting your strike.
hedging trade, correct. But even let's say when you hedge your trades, is further adjustments required once you are already hedged in a trade?
So no, you don't need to. But if you want to, if you see that once you've hedged it, you're in a limited loss strategy, right? You know your profit, you
Correct.
know your loss, you know what the whole scenario is. But if you think that that also could be getting challenged, and if you're okay with your loss, you're fine. But if you want to maximize your profits, and also you want to see that, okay, you don't want that thing happening, then basically to maximize your profits, is this something that you will do. And also you can keep moving your trade forward or downward depending on what you're doing. You can keep adjusting your strikes, you can maximize your profits.
All right, Smita. Thanks. A good compliment has come for you, ma'am. Saying thank you for your session, good explanation of trends with option strategies, and also explaining real-time example, converting loss-making trade to profitable. But my option knowledge is at basic. Need to see some video couple of times to become perfect. Thanks. By Mr.
Most
Jayprakash
welcome.
P.
Most welcome. So we have a trading institute also by the name of My Trading School. Anybody who is interested in joining, please do contact us.
It was very interactive also. Great, and you've been quite humble in taking all the queries and the questions.